confirming her old status. Not because she believed in ghosts, but because she believed her sister had known something and kept it from her. Another one of Hillary's stupid tests? She thought of her sister at the walkthrough days before, shrugging at the balloons tied to the copper mailbox across the street, saying she didn't know the people, their kid was young, third marriage, she'd heard. Inside, surveying the sanded floors, fresh paint, new wallpaper hung in the kitchen and bathroom. How little time it had taken to walk through a house so snug. How nothing at all could have happened except for the dance of "you go first, no you" outside the bathroom. And yet for all the exclamations of "floors look awesome, love the paint color," Hillary's eyes had narrowed. Hannah hadn't imagined it, at the black and white toile wallpaper in the kitchen. Trying to place the historical print? The hill, the hound, the picnic, the tiny fox ears hiding in the bushes, which Hannah hadn't seen until the paper hanger had pointed it out with his wide, calloused finger, and she couldn't decide if it was funny or tragic. Hillary's look reminded her of how she used to side-eye Hannah's flaking nail polish, never saying a word, then proclaiming, "What? Nothing. Don't be paranoid," when Hannah asked what was wrong. "I'm sure it's nothing," the driver had said. "Just rumors and a little rain." "Right," she had said. "No need to be paranoid." "Exactly." The driver had closed the back of the truck and saluted to Miles, who stood on the porch. She had tipped him $100, and before he said thanks, he also said, "Whoa." She supposed it was too much for a small house. She'd also paid the contractor that week, paid him overtime to finish so it would just be done and she wouldn't have to do that on top of everything else before the school year began. No matter about the cost. The monthly retainer from Boxed Pharmaceuticals would be there by the end of the week, and everything she'd done to get herself and Miles into this carriage house without Mike, without the boys from their old school district, would be worth it. She paused for a moment on Brindle Lane. From this vantage point, she could almost visualize how the neighborhood, which held nearly 50 sprawling homes, no two alike, was once one enormous 120-acre estate. The sycamore trees flanking the road like soldiers, the sloping hill up Brindle Lane, past Hillary's house, splitting into 4 or 5 lanes, Rose Lane, Linden Lane, others she couldn't remember, before dipping back down to the covered bridge to the Tamsin farm, the only 5 acres that remained in the Tamsin family. The steep drop across from her driveway to the east that led to the creek and the gulch and all the walking trails that eventually rose and twisted back into the lanes. And behind her house, through another copse of trees, Brigham's Ford Road, running parallel to her street, connecting to the other tributaries at the southern crest. All those homes, people, pets, and yet, cushioned by landscape and leaf, so little noise. As she walked back up to the driveway, she heard no cars passing, no dogs barking, no basketballs bouncing. Just Tamsin Creek, bubbling and alive. Soon, next door, around the brick circle, up the wide bluestone steps that led to the double-entry doors, Hillary would be back, carrying in Morgan's stuff from camp. Hillary's husband, Ben, would return from his business trip, or his office in Malvern, or wherever he was, and they'd all be together. Miles had already asked when Ben and Morgan would be home, glancing out the kitchen window in a way that made Hannah both happy and sad. They would begin a new September together in the same great school district, a life as fresh and satisfying as newly sharpened pencils. Sisters as neighbors, cousins hanging out with cousins, their mother, Eva, just a few neighborhoods away, with a promise to babysit at any time. Wasn't that the vision? Wasn't that the dream? Wasn't that everything they'd ever wanted in the first place? They were a team, ever since their father had died, helping each other muscle through, filling in for the other's weaknesses. They'd split up their homework in high school. Hannah did the art and English, Hillary did the science and math. Together, they had made the dean's list and gotten scholarships to colleges 10 miles apart.